And here we are today. I'm out on my first ride of July, and it's bloody freezing and quite windy. I did 500 miles on the bike in June, and for a 60-year-old fat bloke who's only been riding for a couple of years, I felt that was a reasonable achievement. And I'm starting to think that I might be obsessed with cycling, and I regret now the 30 odd years that I had off the bike. And people often ask me, they say, well, why did you stop riding for so many years? And other people make the assumption that it's because you walked away from a racing career, you just walk away and you don't want to see a bike again, and it really isn't true. The fact is, it wasn't a conscious decision. It is true, and I've mentioned it before, that when you're racing does control every aspect of your life. How much training you do, when you sleep, what you eat, all of these things. But despite that, I didn't walk away and go, I never want to do this again. In fact, I always thought I was going to go back to it one day. But no, as I said, it wasn't a conscious decision. All that happens is, you get up in the morning and you think, well, I'm going to go training today. I'll go for a ride tomorrow. And your friends say, come on, let's go out tonight, a couple of drinks. And you go, yeah, I can do that now. And then you get up in the morning and you think, oh, I feel a bit rough after last night. I don't think I'll ride today. But I don't have to. I don't have to train. I'll ride tomorrow. And then tomorrow never comes. I got involved in coaching as well, which meant that I was out on a motorbike because I had to be able to chase backwards and forwards to the different riders and while they were out training. And before you know it, in the blink of an eye, 25 years have gone. And then I kept one of my race bikes. And it was obviously in dire need of a service. So I went to the bike shop and they just laughed at me. And they said, you can't get parts for vintage bikes these days. And I said, what? Vintage? You cheeky bastards. But they were right. Technology had moved on so much. Well, I need to get a new bike. But what to buy? Because it's all changed. So many different types of bikes now, and different frame materials, all kinds of things. So I put it off, one thing and another few years had gone by, and it was really my health that got me back on the bike. And I started to have a few problems, and well, various things, but one of the things was my ankles had swollen up. And my wife said, you're going to have to go to the doctor. And I said, I don't really like going to the doctor. And I said to my wife, one thing I do know is this is caused by bad circulation. And I said, the one thing that the doctor will say, aside from all the other things he might say, one thing he'll definitely say is, you need to get some exercise, you fat bastard. It was a big wake-up call for me. So I got on Facebook Marketplace and I bought a bike for exercise. And that's where it all started. I didn't know it was going to become an obsession. I really didn't. I thought it was just going to be... In fact, if anything, I thought it was going to be a chore. I thought I was going to have to push myself to get out on the bike. But nothing could be further from the truth. I went out the first time I rode the bike and I couldn't go very far because I was so unfit. When I got home, I had a drink and then I wanted to go again. And every morning my first thought was getting out on the bike. And of course, as I built up a bit of fitness, I started going a bit further. And one morning it was raining quite hard, and I still wanted to go out. So I just went out and rode in the rain. And then I thought, I'm not having to force myself to go out. I really, really want to go out. And I started to realise that it was becoming a bit of an obsession. And so, once I realised I was going to stick with it, I got some nicer bikes. And so, before too long, the fitness became secondary. It wasn't the main reason I was riding anymore. Because I just love cycling. I love riding on the road. I love riding on the gravel. I love riding the mountain bike. I love the places I go. I just love being on the bike. I'm still very competitive. Can't help it, it's in my nature. I'm really competing against myself, but I'm always pushing for faster times and so on. The big thing about it is, and the reason I love it so much, I think, is because I don't have to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved racing when I did it. I really did. Great fun and huge achievements, and it was just fantastic. But there was that constant pressure. Getting up in the morning and knowing you have to go training no matter how you feel. Never being able to have a few drinks with your friends, not being able to eat the food you want. Whereas now, I can have a beer, get up when I feel like it, and just go and enjoy riding the bike.